Hi, I'm Lizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for A Course in Weight Loss, and we are on Lesson 18.
Finally. It is about honoring the process. So, that's what we've been doing because we've been on Lesson 17 for quite a while now.
Yeah.
A couple, 3 or 4 days. So, just to finish that one up, tell me how the writing assignment went for that after you finally decided to let go. Or did you?
I did.
Good.
I, just like this chapter is talking about, honored the time. I felt like this was not one that I wanted to restuff. I truly wanted to get through it, and in order to get through it, I had to just do what I had to do. I had to cry, and I had to write, and I had to veg out, and I had to zone out, and I called people, and I prayed prayers, and I literally just did what I needed to do. And I feel better about it.
Good.
I was able to write some about it. I'm not done with the writing. I have several letters that I need to write. Not that I'll necessarily ever deliver them. I may turn around and burn them, but it's still just getting the rocks out of my backpack. I still have to move that energy. And the longer I deny it, the longer I carry it. And I know that. So I know there's still writing that I need to do, but I'm ready to move on.
Good.
I can do that.
Good.
And move on.
So we're talking about honoring the process, and we had a different assignment for this one, which was to say goodbye to our old self, our fat self. And we were supposed to talk about 3 things in the letter, which were why. Number 1 was why I allowed you to live in me in the ways that I said yes to you. Number 2 was why I no longer need you, and what I have come to realize. And number 3 was what I say to you now through the authority of my divine mind. So how did that go, that process?
It went really well.
Good.
Went really well. It wasn't as angry as my first letters to myself. I noticed that first off. So I had taken care of a lot of the anger that I had, and that was good, you know.
Good.
I didn't look at the questions when I first sat down to write it. When I first sat down to write it, I was just going to write it out. And I thought, okay, oh yeah, there were questions. So I went back after I wrote it out and looked at the questions and thought, that was pretty much the way I was going anyway.
Yeah.
Naturally with the letters. So
Yeah.
I felt good about that. It felt like a moving on.
Good.
For me.
Yeah, me too. Did you discover anything new when you started on that first one? For me, that was a little enlightening to say, why did I need her? Why did I allow her to stay for as long as I allowed her to stay? I'm 50-something years old, and she's been here most of my life. Well, not the early years, but most of my adult life. And why did I feel the need to have her around? Did you discover anything when you did that part?
Not anything new. I had done a lot of that work in therapy anyway.
Yeah.
So I had addressed those anyway, so I knew the whys.
Yeah.
I just had, my letter was more focused on, I'm ready now. And I am setting my intention now to reclaim this and take it back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understood the whys and why I allowed it. But I needed to make the declaration, I am now safe and ready and ready to stake my claim on creating the life that I want. So I'm ready to take this back.
Good.
You know? So most of my letter was more that tone. So what about yours? What did you find out?
Well, it helped me to ask the question, why did I let you come and inhabit my body to begin with? And some of it I already knew, but there were a few things that I realized why I was hiding behind the fat.
Yeah.
You know, and why I felt the need to protect myself from the world, and what I was afraid of, and some of those fears that I didn't even know I had. You know, I mean, I've discovered them recently, but it was interesting to see. Okay, well, that's why I let her hang out so long. And then for the second part of what I realize now is that I really am comfortable with who I am now, more so than I've ever been.
Good.
And I don't need her protection anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for her to hang around and try to cover me up or hide me, or, you know. For years I went around trying to be invisible because growing up, that's the way you survived, was to be invisible. And that's the way he kept out of trouble and didn't get screamed at and whatever. So it really helped. And then mine turned into like yours to say, "See ya, no longer need you. You know, take your backpack and go." You know, you have the rocks.
I love when you told me that you told her to take the backpack with her.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah,
Mine was too. It's more of a thank you. I realize your role, and it was imperative for me because I wouldn't have gotten to this station without it. I could not have gotten this far without that comfort and something to hide behind, and also the protection because for me it was protection too. I had a lot of abuse in my background. So I have gotten to the point where I have addressed all of the other issues. So my needs for it are no longer here. The only thing I needed to do was say, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to put this down now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
take claim of what is mine to have. You know?
Yeah. It really did feel like a final goodbye. Okay, I'm done with this. I am through with the forgiveness. I am through with all the stuff that caused you to be here to begin with. So I don't want to see this again. You know, I don't want to have to bring this up again. When I go to a seminar or whatever and they say, okay, why are you hurt or discuss your past, this is gone. I'm not going to bring this stuff up again. It'll be more recent stuff, hopefully, that I hadn't dealt with yet. But I'm really ready to let her go and be done. And it feels like that with the eating. I've noticed. I have trouble overeating now.
I do too.
I really do. It's like it's painful.
Too. It was when we first started. Now, we first started our challenge where we challenged ourselves to eat better, not go on a diet. I can never do a diet again.
Right.
But when we challenged ourselves to eat better, I really had to make myself, I really had to engage a lot of willpower in leaving something behind.
Right.
And eating this morning, I thought, I just really don't want this anymore. So it wasn't as big a deal this time. And I thought, yes. That's better. That is so much better for me.
Right. The one night we've overeaten since we started this, or the one night we really overate, I felt horrible. I was like miserable sick. And I thought, why did I do this to myself? Yes, it was good food. I love steak. But was it worth it?
No, it was just too much. Even though the pieces themselves were not that big, we still are not requiring all of that.
And it was all good for us food.
Yes.
It wasn't bad food, but I ate too much because it was so good. And used to, I would have eaten that and never thought a thing about being that miserable. But now that I'm used to not being miserable, it just felt like abuse. It really did. It felt totally different than I've ever felt after overeating in my life.
Yeah. Do you know what else I noticed that has shifted? Not only that being able to walk away from it is really not that big a deal anymore. When we go to the gym, I feel stronger when I come out than I did before. And I also feel less tired and strung out.
Yes.
When we first started, oh my God, we would exercise and I was just, oh God, give me a nap. I can't stand it. I cannot stand awake.
Couldn't keep your eyes open.
I could not keep my eyes open. Now I feel more invigorated, but it took this long of conditioning to get there, and I realized that I really was lacking in muscle underneath all of the weight in order to support myself.
Right.
And now that I'm building that and I'm losing the weight on top of it, I just feel better.
Yeah. I don't think it's just that, though. I think it's the whole diet change.
Yeah, that too.
I think we're eating better foods. We're eating more fruits, more vegetables, and more healthy foods, and less sugar. And I think the sugar plays a big role in that sleepiness. And we have
I didn't think it did, but
something
really
does. And I think
It
that's
really
a lot
does.
of it.
Yeah. Well, for us, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff. I think it is important to honor this process and realize it's not going to happen
Well, in every
overnight.
stage, too. We have to honor every stage. And knowing I've still got some forgiveness work, I don't feel like I'm cutting myself short because I want to move on. I'm still going to address it.
Right.
I'm still going to honor that time that it takes, even though I'm going to honor it off camera, so to speak.
Right. But you're in a different place today than you were yesterday.
Oh,
and
definitely.
each day you've been in a different place.
Yeah.
And some days you don't feel like moving forward. And then today, I understand you want to move forward, but yet you know you're not done with that. And you will honor that process, but just in a different way because you're in a different space. So I think that's fine. I think that's good. That's good. This is really been a good study.
It really has.
We're almost done, and I sort of
Can you
feel
believe it?
sad.
I feel like we're just getting our wind now.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So we've got 3 more chapters to go.
3 more lessons. And you know, I may decide to go through it again. I'll just go
Oh,
back
yeah.
and watch us.
Yeah, yeah. Or do a different weight loss one, more of a spiritual one too. So,
It's been good stuff.
really good stuff. Shrink.